Hey there, fight fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Ranch Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, Fernando Robles. So even though most of the country is seeing cold weather still in early March, late February, boxing has been heating up. And nothing hotter than the state of Arizona this last weekend. So that's where we're going to start the show this week. From Glendale, Arizona, Desert Diamond Casino, Emmanuel Navarrete stops Eduardo Nunez to unify the super featherweight championship. He is now the IBF super featherweight champion and the WBO super featherweight champion. Also in action, Abel Ramos, a local kid from Casa Grande, coming back and getting a split decision win over Tahir Smalls. Scores of 96-94 for Smalls, 92-98, 93-97 for Ramos. And also in a great fight, co-main event, Emiliano Vargas shows off his skills going up against a game Agustin Quintana. And that was a great match and an unexpected performance by Agustin Quintana. Vargas does get the win, but it was the way he showed up for that fight was amazing. Emiliano Vargas improves to 17-0. Agustin Quintana goes down to 22-3. Earlier, Tahir Smalls was 16-0. He is now 16-1. Abel Ramos improves to 29-6. Let's go back to the main event. Manuel Navarrete, 39-2-1. He improves to 40-2-1. Eduardo Nunez drops to 29-2. So this first fight, the main event, Emmanuel Navarrete, I gotta admit, when I saw that Navarrete was fighting against Nunez, I didn't know a whole lot about Nunez, but I've seen Navarrete fight a lot. And even though he's only had 2 losses, it just seems like he was starting the back end of his career. Still a champion, still game. I knew it was going to be a good fight. And I told my friend at work, I'm like, hey, you might want to check out a good fight. This one's going to be good. Not only that, you might want to check out Emiliano Vargas on the undercard. Anyway, so I thought that maybe Nunez might be able to get over on Navarrete on this one and unify the titles here. But Navarrete, I don't know what he did. He came in the best I've seen in a long time. I mean, he looked good against Oscar Valdez not too long ago, but it was he in his last fight, he just looked like he wasn't the same. He had a no contest against Charlie Suarez. And then he lost to Dennis Baranchik, which that was a fight I thought he was going to win. The fight started, I was thinking like, okay, Navarrete might have a little bit something for him at the beginning, and then probably he'll start to die down, and Nunez will start to figure him out a little bit. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't even close. Kind of, I thought Navarrete had him from the get-go, and he never let him go. He was in control with his unpredictable style, with his I don't want to say it's unpredictable. He's not a technical fighter. He's just he's more of a, I don't even want to call him a brawler. He has boxing skill. He goes forward. He throws kind of like these strong punches, not super fast, but he was completely effective against Nunez, and Nunez had nothing for him. So it might seem like Navarrete is at the has a resurgence here in his career, and I'm excited to see what he does now that he has the IBF and the WBO championship. Maybe he's looking to unify the titles more, and so we'll see what happens with Navarrete going forward, and then we'll see what happens with Nunez. Emiliano Vargas. So I never heard of Agustin Quintana. From what I hear, he's from Argentina, and this is the first time he's fought in the United States. So I didn't know what to expect from him, but I was hoping he would come through. And to be honest, I want to see this guy again. He was that good. He came in, and I thought he hit Vargas a couple times and kind of woke Vargas up. Not that Vargas was taking him lightly, but I think Vargas got a taste of a challenge in this fight, and he handled it great. Not only his punch, the way he can catch, he did get caught a couple times, but you would never know it by his face. He looked fine. So the guy Quintana was throwing, and he did hit. So I don't know what Vargas did, or maybe his defense is better than I thought, or maybe it looked like he was getting hit and he really wasn't, because his face did not show. Now, Quintana, on the other hand, he looked like he got put through the meat grinder. Although he looked pretty good at the beginning, you can see that maybe about halfway through, before the stoppage, he was starting to bend just a little bit, and he kind of it seemed like he did his best in the beginning, and the inevitable was happening to him. Although he never was out of the fight, he was all heart in the game. And while his corner kept sending him out there, I don't think he was on his way to scoring any kind of like comeback knockout or anything like that. But it was a great fight. Vargas really does show who he is. He shows the skills. He shows how he can overcome a little bit of challenge, and he improves to 17-0. And I'm really excited to see Vargas go forward and see what he does next. I think he's ready to kind of maybe up a little, up his game just a little bit more. He's still young though. He's only 17-0. I'm excited for this kid. Anyways, so let's move on to this week's preview of the Zuffa card on Sunday from the Meta Apex in Las Vegas. So Jai Opetaia, he is the ring cruiserweight champion and the IBF champion, and he's slated to become the Zuffa boxing champion, the first ever Zuffa boxing champion, and he's going up against Brandon Glanton. Brandon Glanton is 21 wins, 3 losses, no draws. If I didn't say before, Jai Opetaia, 29 wins, no losses, no draw. So this is an interesting fight. This is pretty much supposed to be a coronation for Jai Opetaia. Zuffa signed him, brought him in, and basically the plan is to crown him, and then help out Zuffa to up their game, up their level. But there's a little bit of controversy in this. Jai Opetaia is the best cruiserweight in the world. It would be great if he could fight the winner of Benavidez, even if the loser. I don't care who he fights, but Zurdo or David Benavidez. And that fight takes place later this year. That would be great, and then we can unify. We can see who the best cruiserweight in the world is, and I think that would make for good matchups. I actually want to see Jai Opetaia against both of those guys. I want them all to fight each other. But so we have a little bit of a power struggle here. So Jai Opetaia is the IBF cruiserweight champion, and like I said, he was supposed to be coronated, crowned this weekend. Everyone's expecting him to beat Brandon Glanton, and then be the first Zuffa boxing champion and the IBF champion and the Ring Magazine champion. That the Ring Magazine championship that comes into play a little bit. So, from what I understand, and I may not have all the facts completely right. This is how I understand it. The IBF has said that he can either win the Zuffa boxing championship or he can defend the IBF championship. He can't do both, which it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Now, the IBF is kind of saying like, well, the Zuffa boxing championship, they allude to the Zuffa championship isn't anything. It's not recognized. It's not a real champion. It might as well be a trophy or a trinket of some sort. Now, I can see why they would say that. And I can see why they would believe that. Zuffa's just starting out. Is it a real recognized championship? By Zuffa, it is. And they're kind of like a private league right now. Kind of promoter and manager at the same time. And I'm not even going to get into the Ali Act, but what I'm saying is that's what they're doing. That's what they are. They made their own championship, kind of like the way the UFC is. Now, they're saying that you can't they're not saying that you can't defend the IBF championship against Brandon Glanton. They said you can. But they said you can't win Zuffa and defend IBF. Well, this is the part I don't understand. If you can defend the IBF championship against Brandon Glanton, why can't you win the Zuffa championship if it means nothing? If it means nothing, then what's the problem? It's like getting a trophy. It's like getting a little medal or an extra WC belt, one of those commemorative belts. What's the difference? What about the ring championship? That's not somewhat recognized. It's recognized by like a magazine, but it's not. There's no rankings to it or anything like that. I know people kind of like to recognize it, and it's supposed to be one title for like the the person who Ring believes is the best boxer in that weight class. So this is what confuses me though. If you can defend the IBF championship but not get the Zuffa championship, how is that possible? Why can't you just win the Zuffa if it means nothing? Obviously, it does mean something to the IBF. This is where the power struggle is starting. The IBF, they don't, they're not in the business of recognizing new champions, although they work with the WBC, WBO, and the WBA. I don't see why this is a big deal. I think that the IBF is just making rules up, even though I think they're making up rules here just to kind of close the door on Zuffa. So as of now, Jai Opetaia hasn't said which one he's going to do, if he's going to defend the IBF or if he's gonna win the Zuffa boxing championship. The Ring, it seems like no one has a problem with the Ring because Turki Al Sheikh, he owns the Ring championship. He owns Ring magazine. And no one minds because he works with the Zone and he works with everybody because everybody works with money and that's what he brings to the game. What I don't like is that it's like they're trying to make things hard for Zuffa, and I can see why. I mean, everybody wants their money, everybody wants their piece of the pie, and they don't want to share. And I'm not on anybody's side here. I'm not on anybody's side except the fans and the fighters. I want good fights for the fans, and I want the fighters to fight, and I want them to get, their prizes. I want them to get their fair share of pay and stuff like that. I do. I even as much as I talk crap about the promoters and the manager, I want them to like make a living too. Sometimes I think they're a little too much in there, and we'll get into that later. But it's it's something to think about. So I don't know. I kind of have a problem with the IBF saying you can't win another championship that apparently doesn't mean anything. If it doesn't mean anything, you should just let him do it. And I think Zuffa wants to be recognized a little bit. How someone like Jai Opetaia, who is recognized as the best cruiserweight in the world, carry their belt. So far, Zuffa has put on some decent fights. They've have some prospects, and they've showcased some good prospects. They're paying real money to these boxers. What's the problem here? I don't like it. I don't like that. It's always about. It's like everyone's starving here, and it's not. There's plenty to go around, but everybody just they want their whole piece of the pie. There's no more room for anybody at the table. It shouldn't be famine. This is a feast. All right. There's plenty of fighters out there. I look on BoxRec all the time, and there's cards all over the world. None of them get televised. Why not have these fighters? The more exposure they get, the better. And I've been saying this from the beginning. Why can't it be this way? Why can't people look out for these fighters? I don't know. So that's just that's my thought on it. I think if Brandon Glanton is good enough to defend against, then they shouldn't have a problem with the Zuffa championship being introduced. Now, if the IBF was saying like Brandon Glanton's not our mandatory, you can't defend IBF against Brandon Glenn. He's not our guy. Okay, I can kind of see that because people do that all the time. They have their mandatories, and if you don't defend against this guy, then you're out. Then you get stripped. Okay, I can see that. I understand that. And if Zuffa was saying like no, it has to be Brandon Glenn. Okay, so but I can see that makes a little bit more sense. But this whole like, oh, you can defend or you can win. No. If it means nothing, then it should mean nothing to you. You should not be, and you shouldn't be scared that another championship is being introduced here if it means absolutely nothing to you. The thing is, what they're saying is it does mean something, and they seem to be running a little scared of being replaced or helping Zuffa get over on their champion. Well, that's the way it goes. You know, they're the new kid in town, and they're trying to make their they're trying to make their bones here in the boxing world. So far, I think they're doing a pretty good job, and I think things will only get better. I mean, I hope they don't sign more people to $15 million contracts for a mediocre fight like they did Conor Benn versus Regis Borgray. And I like Rongaroo, but Regis Borgray is not. I don't know. He's not. There must be more to that deal because $15 million for Conor Benn to fight Regis Prograis is, I don't know. That's a little. That's a little. That's a huge price there. Um, that's a huge price to pay for that type of fight. That's an undercard. It's not even a main event. So I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to compare the two in the UFC and boxing and stuff like that. But if I were in the UFC, I'd be a little upset that they're giving Conor Benn $15 million for an undercard fight against a mediocre opponent when a lot of those guys just they dog it out like every week. Champions don't make that much money. Or at least I don't think they do. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't pay their bills, but it just doesn't seem like they make that much. As far as $15 million. I mean, I know they make a good living. Anyways. All right. So like I said, Sunday, March 8th from the Meta Apex. Watch Jai Opetaia, and if nothing else, you can see, if he gets that win over Brandon Glanton, don't count Brandon Glanton now. Although I saw he has 3 losses, Brandon Glanton, and it's I don't really see that happening. Jai Opetaia is just way too strong. He's way too good. And if you've seen any highlights of Jai Opetaia, it takes about 2 minutes of highlights, and you'll see why he's favored to win here. But we'll see. You never know. Maybe Brandon Glanton pulls it off, and he gets to pick which belt he wants. Well, who knows? No one's asked Brandon Glanton as of now, so we see with the how much the odds are not in his favor in this one. Anyways, so part of this card too, I'll just name some of these names here. I'm not super familiar with a lot. Ricardo Salas, 22 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, going up against Jesus Saracho, 16 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. Vlad Panin, 23 wins, 2 losses, no draws, against Shenard Bunch, 22 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. Adan Palma, 14 wins, no losses, against Pablo Rubio, 14 wins, no loss. Someone's always got to go in that one. 14-0 versus 14-0. That sounds like it might be a good one. 2 guys that don't know how to lose. Joshua Juarez, 14-0 versus Jordy Anderson, 11 wins, 1 loss. Jacob Ramos, 4 wins, 1 loss. Ethan Perez, 8 wins, no losses. Brady Ochoa, 9 wins, no losses. Adrian Miguel Serrano, 6 wins, no losses, 1 draw. So there you go. That sounds like a pretty good card. There's a card here. There's a fight here. I don't know. It's got exclamation points. I don't know what that means exactly. Emiliano Alvarado, 10 wins, no losses, against Eric Rosado, 16 wins, 4 losses. So that's the card from the Meta Apex. Check that out on Paramount Plus if you have that, or if you are able to check it out anywhere else. All right. So let's move on to a little bit more review here. I want to review the card that we previewed a couple weeks ago. Sorry, I wasn't able to get back on. As you can tell, I've been a little sick, a little under the weather. My throat's kind of hurting right now, but it's all good. I got the RC here helping me out. All right. So it was the zone pay-per-view from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we have Ryan Garcia coming through like the champ, the first-time champ, taking Mario Barrios' WBC welterweight championship away from him. Mario Barrios, in the meantime, moves up to 154, leaves 147, and now Ryan Garcia is the new king at 147, finally living up to his name as KingRy. On the undercard, Gary Antoine Russell, 19 wins, 1 loss, gets a somewhat disputed decision. I didn't exactly see it, so I didn't agree with the scorecard so much. I mean, the fact that Gary Antoine Russell won, okay, that's fine. But the scores were a little weird. Enda Hiraoka, 24 wins, takes his first loss, so 24 wins, 1 loss now. And the scores of 116, 111, 116, 111, 117, 110, all for unanimous decision. Gary Antoine Russell. That was a super lightweight bout. So congratulations to Gary Antoine Russell in that one, although a little disputed, but we won't try to we won't get too mad about that one. This card was decent. Oh, there was a there was another, God, I can't even remember. There was another fight that was Richardson Hitchens. He fell sick. A lot of suspect against Oscar Duarte. Richardson Hitchens was supposed to fight Oscar Duarte, and it didn't happen. So that that was a letdown in this one, and there was a lot of suspicious things going on. I've heard Robert Garcia, the trainer for Oscar Duarte, talk about how he weighed in again the next day. Richardson Hitchens, I'm talking about, and he seemed fine, and then all of a sudden he got sick, food poisoning, and then he was out. And then now Richardson Hitchens has been slated to fight another person, and now Oscar Duarte is like left in the cold. So that kind of sucks for Oscar Duarte. I feel bad for him. It seems like he's kind of just, by showing up and doing his part, he's getting punished. So no good deed goes unpunished in boxing. This is boxing, and that does happen. So hopefully he can rebound, Oscar Duarte, and hopefully Richardson Hitchens gets better, and he's able to fight next time. Anyways, let's talk about Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia. So I picked Mario Barrios in this because I didn't think he was better. I thought the discipline would rule the day here. I thought his dedication and being not predictable, but always expecting him to take things seriously, being in good condition, having decent talent would win it for him in this. But Ryan Garcia, to his credit, Ryan Garcia, although he was looked like he was working out in his living room with his dad, he came to fight, and not only that, he showed up in a way that I had seen. The only time I've seen him fight this good was against Devin Haney, and that's when he dropped dirty, and he was overweight. So that was the last time I've seen him look that good. But then that came with dubious circumstances. This one, as far as I know, I was waiting for it too, and I heard other people, they were waiting to make sure he was clean. So far, I haven't heard anything, so it looks like this one's gonna stick. And he is the WBC welterweight champion of the world, 147-pound champion. And I mean, this guy has 2 losses, and he was down and out, and now he's up and in, and he's ready to go, and he's got a lot of prospects. He could do a whole lot of things. There are names like Teofimo Lopez out there, which is a great fight I would love to see. I've always wanted to see those two fight. I thought Teofimo would just clean him up. But now I'm not so sure. Things have changed. I've heard the name Shakur Stevenson, which I don't think he should do that. Maybe usually I want these fights to happen, but I think Ryan Garcia can, he can fight a couple more people and get some possible wins before he takes on someone like a Shakur Stevenson. But Ryan Garcia is a very confident young man, and we'll see how this works out for him. What everyone wants to see, they want to see the rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. And I'll admit, I do want to see it now too. It's that fight had after the Rolly Romero defeat, Ryan Garcia loses to Rolly Romero. That fight was on. I didn't even think it was on life support. I thought it was dead. It was DOA. It was DRT. It was dead right there. And I didn't think I would ever see it. Nor did I even care anymore. Devin Haney moves on, and he was going to forget Ryan Garcia, and Garcia was going to go do God knows what. But looks like Ryan Garcia has resurrected himself like the Undertaker, and his career is back. And it looks like that fight has new life. Now I've been hearing that Devin Haney is going to fight Rolly Romero. In the meantime, okay, fine. Rolly Romero fight Devin Haney, unify the title. And then Ryan Garcia can try to unify the other title, or he can fight a name like a Teofimo Lopez, Shakur. I don't know if I would take that fight. I'd rather take the Teofimo fight, even though he might not win that one. Or he can take some sort of mandatory or some sort of. There's a lot of people at 147. that he can at least keep busy with until the winner or loser of Rolly Romero and Devin Haney. So interesting things in 147. I want to see what's next for Ryan Garcia and Mario Bars. Like I said, El Azteca moving up to 154, and Ryan Garcia may as well have been the Spanish Armada in this. He's standing strong at 147 pounds. All right. That's it for the boxing news. A little bit of news here I wanted to talk about. It looks like Golden Boy had a federal judge rule in their favor, and it looks like Virgil Ortiz can't do anything without Golden Boy. And Virgil Ortiz has said that he is done with Golden Boy. So we're in a little bit of a dilemma here. Everybody wants the Virgil Ortiz, Jerron Boots, and his fight. And it seems like if it's not going to be done with Golden Boy, it's not going to be done. I heard a lot of stuff that Oscar got to say on his Clapback Thursday today. Who knows how much of it's true? It did explain a little bit more. So yeah, if it's true, I don't know who to trust. I don't, Oscar, he's a promoter, and and then there's Virgil Ortiz. Everybody always wants to be right. Everybody wants to seem like they're the ones, and this is quite the predicament here. So we have a young fighter who signed with a promoter, and for whatever reason, in the last few months, had some disputes with him, and now he can't negotiate a fight that everybody wants to see because he doesn't want to work with this promoter anymore. If this sounds familiar, it's exactly the same thing that happened to Mikey Garcia, and I want to say something very similar happened with Andre Ward. So I don't know what's up with for Jerron Boots at his next. If I were him, I would just move forward and be ready for that Virgil fight whenever it can happen. But for right now, it just seems like Virgil Ortiz, for as much as I like Virgil Ortiz and how much I like his fighting style, it looks like that guy is shelved, and he's up there like a vintage toy. Just, he's not doing anything anytime soon. He's boxed, and no one's going to touch him because they can't. Not without Oscar De La Hoya being involved, and apparently he doesn't want to deal with Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. It's a bad look for the entire business. It's a bad look for the fighters. It's a bad look for Golden Boy. I don't think Golden Boy's ever going to get to work with Virgil Ortiz. So now he's out a fighter, a good fighter, and Virgil Ortiz is, either out of promoter. I mean, there's plenty of promoters. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it other than who loses everyone loses pretty much. Oscar loses Golden Boy loses any kind of money they would have made from the fight. Virgil loses any money he would have made from the fight, and what if he beat Jerron Boots Ennis? What does that say? What kind of star would he have been there? What if him and Boots Ennis had a great fight and they ended up fighting 5 more times? Then that everyone misses out, and then of course the fans, they lose everything because we don't get to see that fight. That fight has gone away. It's signed, sealed, and delivered to the other side of the world. So that's it for that fight for now. Maybe we'll get to see it after the expiration date, kind of like Pacquiao Mayweather. And speaking of Mayweather Pacquiao, it seems like that fight, part 2, coming to you better late than never type thing, or how about better never than ever? Because the fight was all Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. The fight was already old when they did it the first time, and not only that, the fight sucked. Okay, I hate to say it sucked. I look, they got in there. It was it was a long time ago, but Mayweather does what he does, and he's very good at that. And it wasn't the most exciting fight ever. And I didn't want to see it again. And even back then I was kind of like, okay, I'll watch it, but it's not, we're watching shells go after, shells fighting in there. And Mayweather was, he was not that exciting in his last few years, and he was even worse on that one. So, now we have that fight coming up, and it's, as far as I know, it's sanctioned, and it's a real fight. It's not an exhibition like he has against some kickboxer and against Mike Tyson. I think these are all real fights that are supposed to happen. I know that Manny Pacquiao has a exhibition coming up against Ruslan Provodnikov. So, I mean, it really is the Masters. It really is Old Timers Day in boxing lately, and we'll see. I'm really not interested in seeing anything. At least it's on Netflix. So if you want to check it out, you can. But I'd like to see the numbers before and after, because it just seems like that. Who knows? But maybe if Mayweather still has haters out there, maybe they want to see him lose. But what does it matter? He's 49 years old, and Pacquiao will be 47 at the time. So it's I don't know. It's obviously Mayweather. He's trying to keep up his lifestyle. I don't want to say obvious, but that's what it looks like to me. I'm not on the inside track here with Mayweather, and Pacquiao probably in the same kind of situation. So we'll see what happens with the with that coming up later this year. I'm not even sure that these fights will actually happen. I'll believe it when I see it, or I'll believe it when it's happening right in front of me. But that's those are all circus exhibition fights, not the current the current champions of today. It seems like I said, Marcellus Wallace was wrong. Boxers do have an old timers day, and it's called Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. All right, so that's gonna do it for this week on boxing. So we have the Jai Opetaia card coming up this Sunday, and then there's gonna be more cards coming up. I will try and keep you updated on that stuff. And if you want, check out I'll be putting something up in our LBC page for Arizona for the local shows coming to the area. Okay, so thanks for watching again, and I really, I really do mean that. We have not a lot of viewers, but it seems like they're dedicated, and they're probably mostly friends and stuff like that. But that's okay. We really do appreciate any viewers that we do get. We appreciate you guys for watching. Trying to keep up with boxing as best you can. We're trying to do the same thing here, trying to get better. Just want to give a shout out that, yeah, we do appreciate that. We appreciate everyone who helps us out and gives us a look see on YouTube and Spotify. All right, so thanks for watching, and I will see you guys at the fights.